So, left-hand one was your kind of before so-called backswing.
Yeah.
The right-hand one now is your after. Now, that there is a much better turn, obviously. You do lose a bit of grip hinge. Obviously, the club, as you know, goes a little bit further this way, actually turn a bit more, but the club does hinge more than we want it to, okay? But at least you're able to get your body to...
Is that arm's bending?
No, just with the left wrist, yeah. If your left wrist was flat, that's basically, as we saw, as far as you better go. It'd be somewhere around this kind of area, but because the left wrist does go naturally... Doesn't need to, no. I mean, that would be... I mean, you get a 7 iron to there with the backswingers you've got, you're hitting that 150 easily, maybe even a 160. Yeah? So you don't need to hit the ball further. It's the same old thing. If your body's only turning that far and you've got all this wrist hinge here now, you're not going to get much energy or speed to the back of the ball. You've now got to try to add into it. Okay, if you're turning that far, and there is always a cut-off point. It's like when kids kick a football, and you see when your kids runs up and stuff. If they stand by the ball and kick it, it goes 5 yards. If they have a little run up, it goes 10 yards. If they run 50 yards back, it doesn't suddenly go 150 yards, does it? Yeah. There's a point where you lose energy by going too far back. Yeah. So you've got to focus on getting into that better turn, and that wrist is going to come in there. In terms of setup, though, as we can see, the lead arm now and the club are creating more that lowercase y. Could it go a little bit forward? Possibly, but at the moment now you're within the window where it wants to be, and it still feels comfortable. No, it's fine. Just in fact, your hands could go a smidgen further forward, but
so just push my hand
a slight amount, yeah. But in terms of if we look at the grip, that's the main thing in terms of position for me. The top of the glove, the top of the club is covered up now. The hand could go over a smidgen more possibly. This little crease that your thumb and forefinger make that little mark there, that should be going up towards your sort of right bicep, right shoulder area, yeah? Okay. So that's a little checkpoint for you. And that's why I say the grip on here, the thumbs go right of centre in that little pad there. And that's basically, if you think when your arms hang down from your shoulders, your arms naturally kind of hang this way, yeah? You wouldn't, yeah, that's better, yeah. You wouldn't have, you're there. You could go, open your hand in a second, open your finger, grip it down there, there. Yeah. That's where you need to go that way. So now look at the crease there. He's going to that shoulder, you see. Hands are going to be by that left side. Again, you can go too far, so don't go beyond the point. There's just by your left thigh there, that's fine. What you want to look for, and again, I would always recommend, we did it before you sent videos across to me, you're looking for a sort of a lead. There you go. From that shoulder, come here, let's go. Try a different colour. There we go. From there to the golf ball, you'd want your hands to be sort of on that green line, roughly. If they're a bit back of that, it's not the end of the world. But if they're kind of way back here where they were before, as in the left hand, sort of in between your legs there, it's just too far back. And you can see the top of the grip there's going to be openly shown. Yeah, the grip is just, it's basically the left foot. And that's with every club in the back.
Front of the leg or?
No, just inside, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Beyond, if you go too far this way, again, it's gone too far. So what I get a lot of people do is either use a mirror at home or their phone on selfie mode, or just film it and send it across to me, we can sort of see. But once you're in that better position, now you're able to rotate better. So when you can rotate your shoulders better, do you stand up a little bit? Possibly there's a bit of a rising up there, but that's just more your sort of range of motion, flexibility. Ideally, you won't be rising up quite so much. Yeah, keeping your body in that same height. But at the moment, I'd rather just look at getting your body to rotate and get that left wrist a bit flatter. The body rotating is something you can do a lot easier, because it's something you can focus on a bit easier. Controlling your hands at the speed you're swinging probably takes a bit more practice. But for you, if you just make some swings, don't think that when you don't move your left wrist as much, it's because it's tighter. It will feel a bit tighter when you get up there, because you're creating this kind of stretch and tension, yeah? But it's not, I'm going to squeeze the club tighter so my wrists don't hinge, yeah? You need to be holding the club like you're holding your phone and the pen, so you're right, yeah? You're not squeezing on for dear life. Controlling what that wrist does is going to take a bit of practice. And then once that wrist gets in a better position, we can see as you come back to the golf ball there now, there's your impact. And your hands now on the left shoulder and the club are pretty much on a decent straight line there, okay? And that's what we're looking for in terms of that good strike. So if you hit the ground now, your low point is basically going to be affected by where your lead shoulder is after the ball there now. And we can just rotate through to a decent little finish there, okay? And what we want to see is a good strike with the ball going left, because then you'll be able to move your body better to change your low point more that direction, as opposed to being behind the ball too much, as you said you had before. But the reason it was behind the golf ball was because you had to square the club face up. You had so much hinge in the wrist in now. There was just that impact there, okay? Ball just about being hit. There's a little bit of a blur we can see, but your hands are back here, right shoulder sort of back and under, trying to flick it. And again, you hit a lot of shots in a row, you get in a habit and a nice little routine and rhythm, and you're starting it great, yeah. So if I start, I'm shocking at darts, right? But if I just stood there and just kept throwing darts this way, eventually I'd start getting to where I want to get to, just keep going over and over again. But am I becoming good at darts? No. Yeah, I've got to learn to how to do it, throw it, and then next start do it. So then sit down at the guy with his 3 goes, then we do it again. Yeah. Same with golf. You hit a golf ball, you then change clubs, then you got to go and walk and find it. And now the ball's above your feet, below your feet, in a different rough, in the trees. It's all these variables that we don't really see that often on a driving range, but we practice in a way that's going to make it gives us confidence. I get that, but sometimes it can be a little bit of like, oh, hang on a second, I'm hitting the ball really good. And then when you go to the course with your expectations up in and realise, oh, you're back down to earth in the bump. Okay, so get that set up better, getting that kind of lowercase Y, as we said, with the arms and the club. Turn the body better on the way back, keeping that left wrist a little bit flatter. Okay, it'll feel as though you're probably almost bowing it the other way slightly rather than this cut. Okay, that's bowed, bow and arrow. That's kind of cut like a cup of soup. Yeah, all right, makes sense.
Yeah,
good man. Okay.